Hello everyone, in case you missed it, Ova Magica is an upcoming farming sim that is coming to Steam Early Access July 23rd. If you're willing to wait, it's also coming to all major consoles very soon. So, of course, that means it's time to look at the marriage candidates of Ova Magica. Now, Ova Magica is a bit different from other farming sims in that there's actually 13 marriage candidates. So there are 7 bachelorettes and 6 bachelors. Let's dive right in and look at these bachelors and bachelorettes. The first bachelorette is Jade. Now, Jade and her sister Ruby, they're 2 of the characters that you're going to meet as soon as you start playing Ova Magica. Now, they are twins, but their style and their personalities are completely different. Jade is cheerful and relaxed. She's hardworking and a down-to-earth farmer. Her main skill is breeding and raising cow blobs. In case you didn't know, blobs are the monsters that are in this game. They're kind of like Pokemon, but they're all just like circular shape, and they're going to battle for you and do other special things for you. Each of the marriage candidates, they also have their own blob. So as you can see from this picture, Jade, her blob is a cow. One of the ways to raise your affection with the different marriage candidates is actually to battle them. And when you battle them, of course, they're going to use their own blob. When you battle Jade, she's going to be using this cow blob. Next up, we have her sister Ruby. Ruby is aspiring, bubbly, and energetic. She's determined to become the best blob trainer in the world, much to the annoyance of her farmer sister, Jade. When you arrive in Clovertown, she wastes no time in sizing you up. Are you her rival? Whereas her sister has a cow blob, you can see that Ruby has a much cuter, kind of like rabbit-type blob. The first bachelor that you're going to meet is Lapis. Lapis is the best blob trainer Clovertown has ever known. His years of struggle have left him with a cold, hard exterior. Why is he so adamant on becoming the world's greatest? The only thing left that can bring a smile to his face is his little sister, Lazuli. Lapis's blob is a bit strange. You can see that it almost looks like he has like icicles on top of him. But yeah, this is his blob right here. Next up, we have his sister, Lazuli. Lazuli is a shy and naive girl who, because of her illness, has very little experience of the world. Unable to leave her mansion, she's very lonely. And when her brother Lapis returns from blob tournaments around the world, she's over the moon. Even though Lazuli is sick and she's forced to stay in her mansion, you can still go and visit her, have tea with her, and all those sorts of things. Her blob kind of looks like a blob that has butterfly wings on the back of it. The next marriage candidate is Garnet. Now, Garnet is a cheerful angler who loves parties and good food. Her little brother, Saphir, dreams of being a chef, and she catches fish for him to cook. Maybe a newly arrived stranger in town will be able to help her with her dreams of opening a beachside eatery. Garnet kind of mixes it up. I notice in a lot of farming sims, it's usually there's a fisherman who teaches you how to fish, but in this game, it's actually Garnet. Garnet's blob looks a lot like a Pokemon, and it looks like her blob is going to be like a fish-type blob. The next marriage candidate is Saphir, who is her little brother. He is a sensitive line cook. His insecurity means he's taken advantage of by his bosses. His dream is to have his own beachside restaurant, but he lacks the courage or the means. His sister hasn't been able to help him, but maybe a newcomer to Clover will succeed. Now, Saphir, he has a penguin-looking blob. Next up, we have Jasper. Not one to mince words. Jasper's proud of what he's achieved in life. Teeming with confidence, he's quite the skater. Easily provoked, he doesn't like those who turn their noses up at those who have to work for everything that they have. Jasper, he has a blob that looks like a tiger, and I'd say he's pretty obsessed with tigers. You can see that his blob is like a tiger, his skateboard is like a tiger. Even his clothing, it kind of reminds me of a tiger. Next up, we have Citrine. She is energetic and committed. Citrine keeps the residents of Clovertown well fed and watered at the beer garden. Yes, you heard that right. In this game, there is a beer garden, which I think is very interesting. I know the Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons games, they've moved away from alcohol, But in Ova Magica, yeah, there's going to be a beer garden. For Citrine, in her heart, her true passion is dancing. For her to make a breakthrough, perhaps you'll be the one to push her to get what she needs. So Citrine, I think she's one of the characters that really surprised me when I met this character. Because yeah, number one, she works in a beer garden, which is usually off limits for some of the farming sims that like to play it really safe. And number two, I think her design is pretty unique. So yeah, for me personally, Citrine is one of the marriage candidates that sticks out to me in that her design is pretty unique. For her blob, it looks like she has a blob that kind of looks like a bee. And if you battle her, yeah, her blob is going to use bee type moves. The next marriage candidate is Charoi. She is a stoic and reserved builder. Her years of hard work have made her a very strong and athletic woman. Unfortunately, she's often quite bored because there's usually very little in the way of building projects in Clovertown. Perhaps you'll have some plans to give her. Now, Charoi, she's another one that has a very unique character design. You can see she really likes to wear purple and black together. Her blob looks like a bat, and her blob, just like her, is a little bit mischievous. Next up, we have another one of my early favorites, and that is Flint. Flint is always on hand to help with your worries, whether it be blob or human. Flint is an athletic and confident blob breeder. His greatest weakness, if someone is mean to blobs, he gets very angry. Now, Flint, he also has a very interesting blob. To me, it kind of looks like maybe a bear, but yeah, there's also kind of like spikes on his blob. So yeah, he also has a very interesting blob. Next up, we have another one of my favorites, and it's Emerald. Emerald is Clover's energetic ranger. Emerald cares deeply about nature and is always eager to share his knowledge of insects and plants with you. It's a big place though, and he could use a little help cataloging the flora and fauna around Clovertown. Emerald kind of reminds me of Ralph from Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olivetown. His blob looks like it's going to be a grass type blob. You can see it almost looks like antlers, but instead of actually antlers, it looks like they're sticks. So yeah, I think Emerald is going to be a very friendly and just a nice guy. Next up, we have Opal, and Opal is a dedicated nurse who cares for the health of the people and blobs over Clovertown. She works diligently in order to become a doctor one day. However, she finds studying difficult and also has terrible exam anxiety. Maybe someone can help her calm her nerves? Of course, Ova Magical is very inspired by Pokemon, so I guess they had to have a marriage candidate that was like a Pokemon trainer, and Opal, she looks a lot like Nurse Joy. Her blob looks like a mouse. And last but not least, we have Carnelian. Now, Carnelian is a store owner. Carnelian has a keen sense for business. A well-groomed appearance is essential, and he values good clothes. However, he tends to look down on those with little wealth and doesn't think much of farm work. Carnelian is an interesting character, I think, because when you meet him, yeah, he's really rude and... I know there are other farming sims where when you meet somebody, they're a little bit rude to you, but yeah, Carnelian is going to take it to the next level. It'll be interesting to see if Ova Magica is like other farming sims, where as you get to know the characters, they're going to change a little bit, because yeah, in the beginning, Carnelian, he is not about the farm. His blob has a shell on it, and it's purple and orange. And those are the 13 marriage candidates in Ova Magical. Please let me know in the comments down below which of these 13 is your favorite. If you're interested in learning more about Ova Magica, stay tuned because my next video is probably going to be a video talking about the demo. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.